Hi, this is Mike Regan with Transact's 2-Minute Warning for the week of October 23rd. Here's why a lot of shippers are up the proverbial creek with no visible means of locomotion. One of my favorite professors at the University of Illinois was Dr. Ken Perry. He was from the South, he had a wonderful draw, and he taught the CPA review course. And when he had an important lesson to share with us, he would always set it up by saying to us, if you want to avoid being up that proverbial tributary with no visible means of locomotion, then, and he would give us the lesson. Well, the reason I bring that up is because we see a lot of shippers going up that tributary. And the reason they're doing that is because they're not paying attention to some very basic things they need to do if they're serious about reducing their cost. What kinds of things? Well, first of all, you need to understand your suppliers, aka the carriers you're doing business with. And that's easier to do than you can imagine. There are resources like the American Transportation Research Institute, which have identified the critical issues confronting the carriers. No surprises. Driver recruitment, hours of service, electronic logging devices, available parking spots. The list goes on and on. But a lot of companies need to ask, how are the things that we are doing impacting the carriers in these critical areas? And that brings me to my second point. How well do you understand what is actually happening at your company or your suppliers or customers' companies when a carrier pulls up to their docks? For example, last week I heard from a company that said, we're having a terrible time getting carriers to come here. Well, I did some research and I was surprised to see right there on a website an alert basically telling the truckers, don't go to this place. They treat carriers awful! Exclamation point. Now, if that information is available to me, it's available to the truckers. And if that information is out there, you need to address those conditions if you want the carriers to give you competitive rates. And that brings me to point 3. Understand your alternatives and options that you can deploy to reduce your transportation costs. Now, one of those things that we're doing is offering to you the Perfect Storm webinar, which is going to be held on November 14th. Folks, if you don't show up, please don't call me with any excuses. You need to be there. The information we're going to share on that call is that important. And one of the other things that is important to do is to consider the rapid assessment process that we have been using to help shippers understand how their practices and processes drive their transportation costs. And if you're interested in learning more about the webinar or the rapid assessment, you can go to the website or simply give me a call or send me an email. Because with each and every 2-minute warning, we are here to remind you we are on your team. We're here to help. And now, more than ever, we're passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time.